Hey friends, Bud Milligan here, certified financial planner and wealth manager at Milligan Wealth Management, and this is your Financial Bud. Today, we're talking about something I see all the time, and that's people shopping an annuity and focusing on the headline, guaranteed income or principal protection, without realizing there are multiple layers of costs that can quietly change the outcome. Just as a quick reminder, this video is for educational purposes only. It's not individualized investment, tax, or legal advice. Annuity contracts vary by company and state, so always read your contract or prospectus and talk with a qualified professional before you buy, exchange, or surrender any annuity. In the next few minutes, I'm going to do three things. Number one, I'm going to show you the most common hidden fees and costs people miss. Number two, I'll explain how these costs can impact growth over time. And number three, I'll explain what those costs are actually paying for, because in the right situation, an annuity can still be a smart tool. The goal is simple. You should understand both the costs and the benefits so you can decide which annuity, if any, fits your needs. Quick context here, not all annuities are priced the same. Annuity is a big umbrella. Broadly, you'll hear about fixed annuities with a stated interest rate, or fixed indexed annuities. The interest rate is linked to an index with limits like caps or participation rates. Variable annuities, where you invest in subaccounts, kind of like mutual funds inside the annuity. And immediate income annuities, you trade a lump sum for a paycheck. Different types have different cost structures. Variable annuities tend to have the most visible ongoing fee layers, while fixed and fixed indexed annuities often have fewer explicit fees, but more built-in costs inside the crediting method. Now, let's talk about the hidden costs, what most people don't see on the brochure. The first is surrender charges, and this is the early exit penalty. A surrender charge is a penalty for taking out more than the contract allows during the surrender period, which is often several years. People get surprised because it's not a fee you see every year, and it only shows up if you exit early. Think of it like this. The insurance company is making long-term promises, and the surrender charge is one way they can confidently price those promises because they expect your money to stay put long enough for the math to work. Here's a tip for you, too. Many contracts allow a free withdrawal amount each year, often a percentage, without surrender charges, and some have waivers for certain situations. The key is surrender charges are a liquidity cost. If you need high flexibility, this matters a lot. Secondly, are commission and advisor compensation costs. These are often built in. A lot of annuities are sold with a commission. Usually, you don't write a separate check for it. The insurer pays the agent or advisor and recovers that cost through the contract design over time. There are also fee-based annuities where compensation looks more like an ongoing advisory fee. Either way, you deserve to know how is the person helping you being paid and what services are included for that compensation. Planning, ongoing reviews, income strategy, beneficiary updates, tax coordination, and so on. Number three are mortality and expense risk charges, mostly found in variable annuities. We also call these M&E charges. If you're looking at a variable annuity, one of the biggest ongoing charges is often the M&E, or mortality and expense risk charge. This fee helps pay for the insurance features and guarantees in the contract, like certain death benefit promises, and the insurer taking on longevity risk when you convert to income. Industry explanations often show M&E charges commonly in the neighborhood of about 0.5% to 1.5% per year, depending on the contract and features. Number four are administrative and contract maintenance fees. These are sometimes a small percentage, sometimes a flat annual dollar amount, but this is basically the cost of running the contract. It's the record keeping, the statements, customer service, processing withdrawals, and maintaining the insurance wrapper. These aren't exciting, but they're part of what makes an annuity a regulated insurance contract with guarantees, not just an investment account. Number 5 are underlying investment expenses, or subaccount expense ratios. You see, variable annuities usually offer a menu of investment options called subaccounts. Each subaccount has its own internal management cost, similar to a mutual fund expense ratio. This is a big hidden cost because people see the annuity fee table, but they forget there's also the cost of the investments inside the annuity. You're paying professional portfolio management, trading, research, and operational costs, just like you would in a managed fund outside an annuity. Number 6 are rider fees. These are the add-ons that change the whole deal. Riders are optional features like an income rider for future lifetime withdrawals, an enhanced death benefit, or sometimes a long-term care or chronic illness rider. These often come with an additional annual cost. Here's the important part. A rider fee isn't random. It's the price tag for a specific promise. If the promise solves a real problem for you, like creating pension-style income or protecting a spouse, then paying for it can make sense. If you don't need that promise, it's dead weight. Number 7 are built-in costs in fixed indexed annuities, and these are called caps, spreads, participation rates. With fixed indexed annuities, the cost isn't always an inline item fee. Instead, you may pay through the crediting method. A cap, which is your maximum credited interest, a participation rate, which is the percentage of the index return you actually get, or a spread, which is a subtraction from the index return. That's why someone can say this annuity has no annual fee and still be absolutely correct, while the contract still has an economic cost. Those limits help the insurer buy the options and manage risk so they can offer features like principal protection and defined crediting terms. Number 8 are premium taxes and state-specific charges, often overlooked. Depending on your state and the type of annuity, there may be premium taxes or other state charges that reduce the amount that effectively goes to work. This is one of those you wouldn't know unless someone shows you the disclosure page items. It's not the insurer being sneaky, it's just how insurance products are taxed and regulated in many states. Number 9 are market value adjustments, or MVA, and withdrawal mechanics. Some fixed annuities have something called a market value adjustment, or MVA. It's not exactly a fee. Think of it more like a pricing adjustment if you take money out early when interest rates have moved. Depending on the rate environment, an MVA can increase or decrease what you receive. The reason it exists is that the insurer is matching long-term assets to long-term promises. The MVA helps make the contract fair to long-term holders when someone exits early. Number 10 are transaction fees, transfer limits, and small print charges. Some contracts have small charges or rules that don't feel like fees until they hit you. Transfer limits between subaccounts, fees for certain optional services, special distribution requests, or extra charges if you elect certain features. These aren't always big dollar items, but they matter because they affect flexibility, and flexibility has a cost. Here's a simple way to understand how these costs can affect growth. Returns compound, and so do costs. If a strategy earns 6% gross and total ongoing costs are 2% per year, your net growth rate is closer to 4%, and over a long time horizon, that gap can be huge. On the flip side, if an annuity helps you avoid a major planning mistake like taking too much risk right before retirement or running out of income later, then the math can still work in your favor because the guarantees can change the outcome you're trying to achieve. Now, let's talk about what you're paying for, matching each cost to a benefit. So first up are the surrender charges. These do help support long-term guarantees, and they often allow more favorable contract terms for people who actually intend to hold long-term. Then we talked about commissions or advisory compensation pay for distribution and ideally planning guidance. This helps you select the right contract, avoid unsuitable riders, and integrate the annuity with your overall retirement plan. M&E fees are tied to the insurance wrapper, guarantees, longevity pooling, and certain death benefit provisions typical in variable annuities. Administrative fees support contract servicing and the operational backbone of an insurance product. Underlying fund expenses pay investment managers to run the portfolios inside a variable annuity. Rider fees pay for specific measurable promises like lifetime income withdrawals, enhanced death benefits, or care-related benefits when available. Caps, spreads, and participation rates in fixed-indexed annuities help fund the option budget and risk management that make principal protection and defined crediting possible. Premium taxes and MVAs are structural realities of the insurance world. State rules and interest rate mechanics more than gotcha fees, but they still affect net results. So the checklist I use with clients starts out with asking what type of annuity this is. Is it a fixed indexed, variable, or immediate income? What are the liquidity rules, surrender period length, free withdrawal amount, and any waivers? What are the ongoing annual costs? Ask for the all-in number, not just one line item. What are the built-in costs? If it's fixed indexed, ask about caps, participation rates, spreads, and how often they can change. What riders am I paying for, and what problem does each rider solve? If you can't name the problem, don't pay for the solution. What happens in a worst-case scenario, like a market drop for variable, low index returns for indexed, needing money early, or death? How does the contract behave? What are the tax rules for my situation? Qualified, which is like an IRA or 401k rollover, versus non-qualified money, and withdrawal ordering rules. The right way to evaluate an annuity isn't to ask, does it have fees? Everything has costs. The right question is, what am I paying? What am I getting? And does that trade-off fit my plan? Annuities can be powerful when you need things like guaranteed lifetime income, principal protection, or contract-based guarantees that investments alone can't provide. But the only way to make a good decision is to see the full cost picture, line item fees, and built-in pricing before you sign anything. If you enjoyed this video and learned something, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others. If you want help reviewing a contract you already own or comparing a few annuity options side by side, go to my website at milliganwealth.com, click on the calendar icon to the left of the screen, and schedule some time to talk. You can also send me an email at bud.milligan@milliganwm.com. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Bud Milligan, your financial bud, and I'll see you in the next video.